So just tell me, I'm your bestie. Have you been creeping on me? And you know I cannot stress myself out. I cannot lie to you. So just tell me, I'm your bestie. Have you been creeping on me? And you know I cannot stress myself out. I cannot lie to you.
Guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber, what's up? Alright guys, as you can see by the title, I will be talking about Queen's new song Karma and whether she stole it from gospel song You Don't Know My Story or not. Okay, so first off, I'm not really gonna tell my opinion too much. I'll insert both songs and you guys can decide whether you think she stole it or not.
So you don't gotta worry about me. You made it clear that you're unhappy, yeah. Go ahead and have your fun now. Just remember what goes around comes around.
And not imagine pain, the trials I've had to endure. You don't know my story. You don't know the day I was at my low.
This is not even a video of bashing or choosing sides. It's honestly about education and educating yourself when you're making music and when you're using beats, if you're using people's songs and things like that. Now, you know, to me the songs sound very similar. The melody sounds similar, the beat sounds similar, you know, just the words are different. But, you know, I think people fail to realize that Queen grew up, you know, as a Christian, and she grew up listening to gospel music and things like that. So it's very, very possible that she has heard the song before, and maybe it was a melody that's always been, you know, in the back of her mind subconsciously, or like, you know, maybe when she heard the beat, you know, maybe her mind just gravitated towards that melody because it's, you know, it sounded familiar, or maybe she did steal it, who knows. But at the end of the day, you know, I've seen a lot of comments, people, you know, getting at the artist of, you know, people are saying, oh, you know, you're a gospel artist, you made the song for God, now the song's making money and you want coins off of it, or things like that. Like, you know, just going back and forth about the situation. And I honestly think that, you know, people should just take the word gospel away from the song just for a second and think about it from a business point of view. You know, if the song, if she got the song from Kanye or Beyonce or Michael Jackson, it would still be the same situation. She still would be getting sued for taking the song, you know. So whether it's gospel or not gospel, I think that doesn't even matter. When you go and you take somebody's songs, because I've seen a lot of comments, and even my friend was like, oh, well, like, you know, Drake samples people's songs every time. Okay, well, first of all, when people sample other people's songs, they have to get certain paperwork done. It's certain protocol that you need to follow when you're taking people's songs or taking their lyrics or taking their beats and things like that, because people just want to get credit for their work that they've done. People realistically want to get their coins from the work that they've put in. So it's just like, when people are doing that, don't just think, oh, like they steal songs all the time. Yeah, they do, but at the end of the day, they make sure that they go from A to Z to make sure that it's okay for them to use the samples, you know. So I think, you know, the couple that went out and put out the video, they already a grimy couple to begin with. They've always threw shots at Queen and things like that. That's already there. Whether they did it out of the kindness of their heart or to feel like, oh, you know, you shouldn't play with God's music, da 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 da. You know, whatever reason they did it for, the way they went about it is wrong. Granted, Karma, there has been snippets of Karma out for a very long time now. She's even performed it live. That whole live video was out there. So the song kind of has been out before it dropped. So I feel as though, you know, the artist of the original song, you know, if it was an issue, he could have went about it by, you know, reaching out to her production company, reaching out to Spicy Management, her record label, whatever the case may have been. He could have done that to like avoid the big fiasco, all the drama, all the opinions and things of that sort. But he didn't, and he has, you know, claimed to support Queen or whatever the case may be. But, you know, he wants his credit. He wants to make sure that they went about doing the proper protocol to make sure that she can use the beat and the melody and things like that. So, you know, guys, as artists, we need to, there's a lot that comes behind it. It's a lot more than going and putting out a song and getting paid from it and things like that. There's a lot of copyright things that you have to do, a lot of trademarking that you have to do, a lot of patenting that you have to do that a lot of people don't know about. They think just because they want to do music and want to be in an entertainment industry that they can go and just put these things out and then it's all good, you get paid if a lot of people listen to it. But no, that's not true. Even from beats, you know, going on YouTube and finding beats and things like that. If you find a free beat, you always need to look in the description box, the description below, to see, okay, this is a free beat, but can I use it to get money from it? Can I use it for promotional use? Can I use it for advertisement use? You have to look at those things. Reach out to the person, reach out to the producer. Hey, I'm interested in your beat. If I use it, can I put it on SoundCloud? Cool. If I use it, can I put it on SoundCloud and put it on Apple Music so that I can get paid? You can put it on SoundCloud, but you can't put it on, you can't get paid for it. So you need to know these things. As far as, you know, taking people's melody, I mean, you know, melodies are melodies. You know, people, if you hear a song, what I try to make sure I do, especially when I'm writing a song, which is hard, but you have to make sure you do it so that your music doesn't sound like someone else's. If you hear a beat, you shouldn't try to match a melody to someone else's song, because when you do that, it's almost like recreating someone else's song on a different beat. So you don't want to do that. Or you don't really want to take people's lyrics, especially when they're very popular lyrics, something that, you know, people are going to realize, oh my gosh, like this is something that, you know, is already out, or this person copied it from another artist. You also want to make sure that when you're choosing beats, when I usually look for beats, I look for type beats. So I might say her type beats, or Janae Aiko type beats, or something like that. So oftentimes when I go and look at these beats, yeah, I use an artist as a reference, but what I try not to do is make sure I don't pick a beat that sounds exactly like another beat. So the first thing I do before I even start writing to a beat is just like, okay, boom, this sounds like this song, I'm not using it. I don't want my song to sound like another song, because for one, as the beat already sounds similar to another beat, and for two, then automatically my mind is going to try to do the same melody of the song that's already been, you know, created or whatever. So I try not to do that as well. But also, like with copywriting and things like that, you know, like recently I just did a cover to Argument, which is somebody else's song. I obviously, you know, I can't get paid for that. I even, you know, am considering doing a cover to Karma, and I know that if I do that, I don't get paid for that. It can play on the radio, it can play at parties, whatever the case may be, but I shouldn't expect to get money from it, and nor should I expect to claim it as my own song, because it isn't my song. Someone else wrote it. So, you know, as far as the argument of whether she stole it or not, like, you know, yeah, I understand, okay, it's a gospel song, now she took it and she turned it into a song that's just not godly, whatever the case may be. That's not even the issue. The issue is whether she went about the right protocol in using the song. Now, she claims that she wasn't even thinking about it, and honestly, she probably wasn't. It probably was just in her subconscious mind when she wrote the song and had the melody and things like that for it to just flow like that. It happens. It happens a lot. But at the end of the day, like I said earlier, if it was any other artist and any other song, she still probably would have the same issue. And it's not just because she's an up-and-coming artist, because it even happened with the song Blurred Lines with Robin Thicke and stuff. They got sued for using someone else's song from back in the day. Like, it happens but you're just supposed to be very careful when you do that, and just be alert and just be aware, you know, guys. So honestly, this is just for all my artists and upcoming entertainers and things like that who are in the industry, or even people who produce beats and things like that. Just be very cautious of what you do. Be cautious of remaking beats, remaking songs. Be cautious of sampling beats and sampling certain phrases and things like that. Like, you can do it, but you got to understand that there's certain protocols for people who aren't signed like me and things like that. When you go and you make a song, poor man copyright, like, we're not rich, we can't really do the steps necessary to go and copyright it. All you have to do is burn your music on a CD, put it in a package, mail it to yourself, and never open it, and you just copyright your song. So just things like that. Just educate yourself on how to be a successful performer, entertainer, songwriter, you know, so you can make sure. You might be a person who writes songs but don't want to be in the forefront. You might write songs for other people. Make sure you copyright your music. Make sure you go into what's that thing called? I don't remember. I'm gonna put it below, but it's a site for you to go and you just type in your lyrics to the website, and you know, your lyrics are trademarked, they're copywritten. No one can take them. If they take them, you can sue them. No matter what status of performer you are, you can sue them because it's under your name, what you paid for and things like that. So just things like that, just educate yourself. Make sure you're not putting yourself in a situation like this. Even if Queen doesn't get in trouble for it, or if the lawsuit doesn't go through, or whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, you don't even want a hype about something like that. You don't really want people having their opinions about things like that. So just avoid that altogether. You know, just educate yourself, do the research. It's not a lot. Make sure you do all the proper information. You know, invest in yourself. You're gonna have to put in the money to trade, and even like little things like trademarking your name, like making sure no one can use your name, or making sure you don't get in trouble for using your name, which could be someone else's name, and things like that. Just make sure you always have your paperwork and everything to back up what it is that you're doing. It will save you a lot of trouble, and you can focus more on being an artist instead of focusing on defending yourself for writing a song that you feel it was 100% original and not a copy of someone else's. So guys, short and sweet and to the point. The song is a good song. You know, the gospel song is a good song. Queen song is a good song. You know, it is what it is. Things like this happen, but it's something to be aware about for the future, so you never have this issue again. So guys, thanks for tuning in. I love y'all so much, and I will see y'all in the next video.